Hey there, fifth graders. Well, we're trying something new here, so we'll see how this goes. Um, we're on to Unit 3 or Topic 3, where we're going to multiply multiple digit whole numbers. And the first unit we're going to do is with decimals, powers of 10. The problem is they expect you to know a lot of these. Now, we did work on the powers of 10 before, but I just want to review this to make sure we know what we're doing. So for instance, this first one I have 23 times 10. Okay. Now we talked about, remember there's a decimal after the whole number. We just don't put it there. Okay. But there's always a decimal there. And we kind of said as our shortcut, think about how many zeros are in 10. There's 1. So we should add a 1 0 to the number 23. So this would be 230. So if I look at the second one, 23 times 100, what would that be? Hopefully you were able to say that's 23. And then I got to add 2 zeros because there's 2 zeros right here. And then I could go in and put this comma. You wouldn't need that comma, but I'll put that comma in there. So if I had this number 176, and I said we're going to multiply it by 10,000, I have 4 zeros. So I take the number 176, I put it over here, 176, and I add 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So you can do this anytime you multiply by 10, by 100, by 1,000, by 10,000. You can keep going, 100,000, a million, and that's how we move it. So let's practice a few of them here, with decimals though. So now I'm going to show you with decimals. So we had 23 times 10. Now we have 2.3 times 10. Okay, so we have the decimal, instead of it being after the 3 at 23, it's 2.3. Now, it's the same thing, except we're actually going to take this decimal, and because there's 1 0, that means we're moving it one spot. So the decimal's here. Now the question is, are we going to move it to after the 3, or are we going to move it before the 2? Well, we're multiplying it by 10, so that means our number's got to get bigger or smaller. Hopefully you said bigger. So is 0.23 bigger, or is 23 bigger? I'm hoping you said 23. So we would move this decimal to the right, and it would be 23. That's how you would get it, 23. Try this next one. 2.36 times 10. Got 1 0. So that should tell you we're going to move it one spot. Move this decimal one spot. What do you get? Hopefully you said 23.6. Took this decimal, moved it one spot to the right to get our number bigger. 23.6. Looking at the next one. 0.591. 591 thousandths times 10. We need it to get bigger. There's only 1 0 in 10. So we're going to move our decimal one spot. What would you get? If I move it one spot, I should get the number 5.91, or 5 and 91 hundredths. Well, what if we do it times 100? Now it's got 2 zeros. So now we got to move our decimal not only one spot, but we got to move it 2 spots. So 1 spot, 2 spots, and we get our answer 59.1. Got 98.36 times 100. We got to move it 2 spots because we got 2 zeros there. So here's our decimal. Move it 1 spot, move it 2 spots. What do you get? I moved it 1, moved it 2. I get the answer 9,836. Try this one. 146 0.21, 146 and 21 hundredths times 10. How many spots are you going to move that decimal? Hopefully you moved it one spot so that you got 1,462 and 1/10. Two more, I think. 148 and 10 hundredths, or 1/10, 10 hundredths, times 1,000. Can you do here? 3 zeros in 1,000. So I moved it 1, 2. Whoa, look at that thing. 2 spots, and now I got to move it one more spot, so I'm going to add another 0 there. So my answer becomes 1481, and I got to put 2 more zeros there. And then I can go in and put my comma. Last one. 2 3/10 times 10,000. This is a little bit tricky, because how many spots are we moving it? 4. That doesn't mean our answer is going to have 4 zeros anymore, because one of those spots is going to be a decimal. So if I move this one spot, it goes here. Then I got to move it 3 more spots, so it would be 3 zeros. So I would have 23,000 as my answer. Okay, so what I would like for you to do now is you're going to get a daily review sheet, 3.1 from Mrs. Johnson, and you're going to work on that together. When that is done, you'll come back and we'll watch another video lesson that we can do, but you will need your math journals out eventually.